The next thing we need to look at is how the UCS behaves in relation to the ViewCube. So at the moment you can see I'm in 2D wireframe, and I'm going to set my view to the sort of default home position, and I'm just going to draw a box, and as you can see the base goes in and then we can do the height, and everything goes in on this XY plane for the 2D part, and then we do the last click, which is the Z going up or down. And as we've said in the previous video, really we should be thinking about going up into positive numbers, because when we're doing things like 3D printing, we need to make sure everything is above the base plate. When we're doing theatre design, we also ought to try and make sure everything goes up into the positive numbers, unless it's something like a substage where it would make sense for it to go into the negative values. Okay, so here I have a box, and you can see that as I start to look around this box using the faces of my ViewCube, the view changes but the UCS doesn't. This time I'm going to put in a cylinder, and you will see that the 2D part of this cylinder will go in line with the floor again on that X and Y axis, and then after the click I can then do the height like so. So if we wanted to draw a cylinder now that was sitting on the floor horizontally, i.e. the 2D circle part of the object was up vertically, then it's not enough to just change the view to be able to do that. What we need to do is change the UCS around, and one of the ways of doing that is to use the coordinates panel, and we have a drop down here, and at the moment you can see it's set to world, and that means that the coordinate system is in this default position, which is X and Y along the floor and Z going up and down. Sometimes world is shortened on AutoCAD to WCS, and you can see over here it says WCS, which stands for World Coordinate System, of course. However, if we wanted then to draw vertically, then we need to flip the y-axis up so that X and Y is standing upright. And one of the easiest ways to do this is to change the coordinate system so that it's sitting in the same plane as our view. So at the moment you can see that we're looking at this from the front left. So I'm going to change my coordinate system to front. And now you can see that my X and Y is standing up straight in line with this ViewCube. Now this is the tricky part, I think, in AutoCAD. I don't know why they've made it this way, they just have, but I think it's quite confusing to begin with. This originally said front and now it says top, and that is because X and Y, where we draw the 2D part, is always labelled in AutoCAD as top. So therefore the labels have changed, and that means that they no longer represent what we're really looking at. We're still looking at this from the front, but the ViewCube, which is supposed to be about views, now says top. Quite confusing, but you just need to keep an eye on that, and just remember that top then is wherever the XY axis is. So now if I try to draw a cylinder, you will see that it goes in standing upright. Okay, so let's just change this back to world, and you can see that it now actually says front, left, top, which is exactly what it should be. And if we go to the top view, you can see that I've got a cylinder that's now laying down, that was drawn vertically, and then two objects here that are standing up. Now I'm just going to show you this one more time, just so that it makes sense. So let's just look at this from the... Let's go to the right. I want to draw a cylinder where the circle is standing up in front of me. Therefore, you can see my coordinate system is laying down. I need to change my coordinate system from world to right. Now when I click this, just watch that word over there, right, changes to saying top, and my coordinates now say X and Y. When I put my cylinder in, just as we would hope, the cylinder is now facing towards me. Okay, so I'm just going to rotate round now. I'm just going to hold the shift key and rotate round, and you can see that that's gone in as expected. So what we've learnt here then is that we've always got two things that we need to consider whenever we're drawing in 3D in AutoCAD. We've got the view, which is where we're looking at it from, but we also have the coordinate system, which is how we're going to draw in that view. And we have to change it over here, and we also have to change it in this drop down here. If you ever get stuck or confused, or the UCS doesn't seem to make any sense, the best thing to do is just go back to World here, go back to the home position, and everything will make sense. It's a good way of resetting the settings so that you can start again. Now, there's also a panel here that says View, and you can see there's a drop down here that shows us some view settings. Now, these view settings are also available over here. This was the original way that AutoCAD allowed you to select them, but now we have the ribbon menu. We also have them in this panel here. Now these are kind of useful because these will do two jobs in one go. So if I set this to, let's say, left, you can see that we've now changed our view to look at this world from the left, but also our X and Y is standing up in line with our left view. It's in line with the screen. And if we change this view to, let's say, look at it from the front, you can see it changes my view and it changes my coordinates at the same time. So this drop down then will change both settings at the same time, and that means that you're always going to be in the position to draw in line with the view that you're looking at. So if we change this now to the right, you can see I'm ready to draw standing up from the right. Again, if you ever get stuck, then all you need to do is go back to World, Coordinates, and go back to the home position, and that will put you back into sort of a default position.